Ahoy, ahoy, and welcome to a brand new edition of the Ramble On About Movies Reactions. With me, as always, is handsome Dan Knight.
That right there is clever Eric Mullen.
And what are we? Some kind of movie ramblers?
That was almost as organic as the line in the movie we're about to be talking about.
And I think I almost got there with the delivery like, well.
Almost. That's when you're watching CinemaSins and you get a roll credits. So what we're going to be talking about is Suicide Squad, which it's been out for a while, but
Dan was on vacation. Like, if he was still in the country,
we probably would have done it.
I would have called him the second I got out. I was like, we need to react to this now.
Or the second I saw it, and then we would have done probably a short one and then a full rotten. But now, since it's pretty much been discussed,
right, and time has passed,
we know how the DC fanboys have reacted, which was aggressively and, a very What do you call when it's like, I'm just going to strike out, lashing out at anyone they can?
It's a vile response.
Yeah. Oh, how dare you, Rotten Tomatoes aggregate critic scores.
All right, DC fanboys, we're about ready to speak, so let's do the dance.
Yeah.
Dan, you go first.
I'll sum it up.
Let's do this. What did you like about the movie?
Well, I'll give you a quick summation. So, Suicide Squad, you all know from the trailers, it was a movie about it's hypothetical. What if Superman came down and he was a bad guy? So
let's get a bunch of people with guns and baseball bats.
Yeah, we're going to assemble a whole bunch of other bad guys who Batman mostly put away to fight whatever supernatural forces we can. That's the plot of the movie. It's a pretty simple enough plot. As far as good things go, I did enjoy a lot of the action. I enjoyed where some of the time, I enjoyed a good deal of montages, but once they started changing the montages, it was when it screwed with me. Because, you get, in the first half hour of the movie, you get that trailer vibe that you saw with the very neon colors, with the tons of pop music, and you get that, and it's a good way to introduce the characters. I enjoyed that. And then you get it at the end of the movie, too, but we'll get back into that later. So I enjoyed where they were going with it, and some things about the movie. Some of the characters, Will Smith's Deadshot, he's the standout of the movie. People have been saying that for weeks, with good reason, because it's Will Smith. You're putting him in a movie. You're most likely going to get Will Smith unless he's doing a character.
Well, it was nice to see him care about something.
That too. So we got Concussion. He cared about that, trying to get the awards. But then you're getting him caring about something that's entertaining, going to be sold. Margot Robbie,
fantastic,
great job as Harley Quinn. And Viola Davis.
Yep, Amanda Waller did a great job.
Great job as Amanda Waller.
And then the only other character I like was El Diablo.
And oh god, yeah, we need to talk about him. Because
he's the only character with an arc.
He has
character development.
Who isn't Will Smith or Margot Robbie?
Right.
But yeah, his character arc starts a little later in the film. You get a little bit about him, but then as the film goes on, he becomes a really key player, and it's played fantastically. And he's definitely a standout in this movie as well. So he needs to be talked about more. Do you have any positives you want to talk about?
We already talked about them. Just the characters.
Talked about all of them.
The 4 characters that were good.
The 4 characters of the Suicide Squad, of which I did count on the poster, there are 9. So
now, before we talk more about it, let's get it out of the way. Jared Leto's Joker. Thoughts? Exactly. He's not in there long enough for us to really get a good grip of what he's actually doing the character. Now, if you tell me, hey, we're doing the Harley Quinn Joker story, and then I see what they gave on the screen, it's like, no. Read a comic book, David Ayers. Read Mad Love, damn it, and understand actually how these characters work.
And that's the thing. He was a thing. I'm not as rooted in my comic book lore, better. I'm not as rooted in my comic book lore as my partner is, but as far as the Joker, he seems very secondary to the plot. You have the main plot, and it's like, oh, we're just going to put the Joker in here, and here. And that's pretty much all you get of him. You don't get a whole lot of development, which is fine. You don't need a lot of development. Everyone knows the Joker, and you're seeing Jared Leto spin on it. And we've all heard the things he was doing, to his castmates and to his fellow characters, and it's kind of cool.
Was it worth it?
Yeah, that's the question. Is did it pay off, and is this something that this movie really needed? And I mean, yes, it created buzz. We're talking about it, but it's the character is wasted in this movie because it's a great character who. Anytime you see the Joker on screen in almost any iteration, you are excited.
Yes.
You want to see what he's doing, and you want to see why. And a lot of times you don't get the why, but the way he executes his plan, you don't care. With this movie, the only plan he's executing is to get Harley. That's not a spoiler.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much all he does, and it's kind of interesting seeing him be her sidekick for once. because normally it's the other way around.
Yes.
And I haven't thought about that as a point of view until now. So it's like, he wasn't really needed. I think it was more for marketing purposes than anything else.
Like I said, Hot Topic is going to be having a great fall season, especially come Halloween, where there's a lot of Harley Quinns out there.
A lot of white makeup, a lot of damaged temporary tattoos.
Okay, now we don't really need to go over the negatives. They're out there, and we're going to be, in our future Rumble, we're going to be going... Ramble on Rumble, we're going to be going our particular negatives. So let's just skip right to the gradings.
Well, before we get to the gradings real quick, let's just point out a few negatives. The things that I didn't like the tone. I do want to talk briefly about the tone. Because like I said earlier, it starts with that high neon montage, and you get a little bit of that, and then the middle of the movie just screeches to a halt. And then there's an entirely different tone, and you're getting a score. It's actually a pretty good score. Like, it kept me in the movie. I'm like, oh, this is kind of dramatic and intense, and that's what the music is doing. And then the tone totally shifts at the end again, and you're like, what? Not to mention, we'll just briefly
There's 3 different acts, and they each have their own tone, and that does not make a good movie.
Yeah, and then speaking of that third act, we're not going to address that now, because we're going to talk about that ad nauseum too. So,
yes.
Is there anything you want to point out now? While we're talking, something that like really chapped your ass.
For a movie that had a lot of exposition, it didn't have enough exposition.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And that's all I'm going to say, because if you saw the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't, good for you. Good for you.
Yeah, good for you. And wait, like, there's no need to rush out to see this movie.
There is none.
That's where you got the same thing as Batman vs Superman. Everyone rushed out to see the movie, and nobody went back. Like. Yeah. That's where the numbers just plummeted. So,
grade this bad boy, David.
I think I'm going to give it a push on what I gave Batman vs Superman, which was a C or C minus. I don't remember. I know it was right around there.
So. I think we gave it a C minus, and then after much thought, we went down to a D plus.
I'll stick it a C minus because right now, see, that's the thing. This movie made me enjoy Batman vs Superman more. We still have plans to see the ultimate cut, and then we'll give you our definitive ruling on what the Batman vs Superman should have been. And then we're going to have more on Suicide Squad next week. What's your grade?
Oh, it's a D. I mean, this movie made me appreciate Batman v Superman. It makes me value that movie more. And that's saying something.
Because that movie's a little messy.
Yes, it is.
Because I think we both agree Batman v Superman is a better movie, but this movie had more potential.
Yeah. So we all know what DC stands for. Disappointing cinema.
Wah, wah.
Alright, on that side of the couch, it is Handsome Dan and I.
And right over there is Clever Eric Muller. Thank you very much for watching our video. Let us know what you think. If you think we're right, cool. If you think we're wrong, even cooler. Let us know why.
We like opinions.
We do. Opinions are good. Everyone's allowed to have them.
So please like, share, comment, subscribe. And as always, ahoy ahoy and anchors away. Ramble on.